Just before we get started, I want to point out that the people sitting on this stage spent a combined total of over 50 years bringing this wonderful book to the big screen. Jeff, from what I understand, you alone have spent 20 years on this project.
That's a little exaggerated, maybe about 18, something like that, yeah.
Hyperbole.
But I originally wanted to direct my father, Lloyd Bridges, in the film, and I wanted to make a movie with him that my kids could see. They were all young kids at the time, and I was looking at a catalog of children's books and came across this wonderful cover of this grizzled old guy with a Newbery Award stamp on there. And I thought, oh, this is great, you know, and I read it and I was knocked out on a kid book level, but also as an adult. And I thought, oh, this is a movie I'd love to see being made. Turns out that Lois took that photograph of the guy on the cover, yeah.
No kidding. On the cover of The Giver, you took, who was the guy?
Is this on? He was a Swedish painter named Carl Gustaf Nelson. At the time, I was a photojournalist, and I'd been hired to do an article about him and to photograph him. And he was dead by the time I wrote the book, but I had saved the photograph.
Amazing. So you were a photojournalist, and now you're a millionaire novel writer. So
novel writer. Yes.
Aspirational. So how does it feel to actually have been working on this project long enough to play The Giver?
Yeah, I finally qualified as the grizzled guy on the cover, you know. It was funny. It felt just, you know, wonderful. So much of the success of a film creatively, and I believe, you know, its success in the theaters, people seeing it, depends on the casting, you know, not only the casting of the actors, but who's going to, you know, be the director, who's going to be a cinematographer, and all of those slots were just filled in such a beautiful way that the movie kind of transcended my high expectations, really, for it.
I am curious, Bob, I know you were the first writer on this also 18 years ago, and I want to ask the writers, Bob and Michael, why do you think this story was so hard to bring to the screen?
Well, I'm older, so I'll go first. I wasn't older when this started, but I am now. Well, you know, the book is very sort of internal. A lot of it is Jonas's experience and what, and there's, you know, I'm meeting a lot of these people for the first time today.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
They were all very difficult to work with, I have to say. But it's a very internal sort of story. And, you know, frankly, the book, you know, there's, I'm trying to do this without giving away plot for those who haven't seen it, but there is a point where Jonas decides to leave this community. And once he does, the story, the book, actually just stays with him. We never go back to see how his departure affects the community. We know it's going to affect them, but we don't see it in the book. That was Lois's choice when she wrote it. But for the movie, when I did my drafts way back, I thought, well, we have to see what's going on back in the community. So it was really a creation of a whole new storyline and expanding some of the parts. And the chief elder, who was basically virtually a cameo in the book, her role is expanded, which is great because when you have Meryl Streep, you want to give her a little something to do. So it was taking the book as a basis, but sort of branching out from there and finding ways to make it visual and you know, put some action in it.
And still retain the spirit of it, which is what they were able to do, I think.
Michael?
I think a lot of it was also timing and the people you see in front of you. The fact that Jeff was so enthusiastic about the project for so many years and didn't let it go. And then, you know, Nikki Silver, who has been through a struggle similar to Jonas in order to get this movie made. And of course, Mr. Noyes, being the right director and finding the right cast. I think a lot of it was timing and luck, and especially the talents of everyone else here.
And I feel like I should call him Mr. Noyce now. Philip, what attracted you to this? Was it the script or the book that you read first?
It was the book, yeah. And it was the ideas of the book. I mean, I think we all, well, I know I do. I embrace technology, but I also fear it. In some ways, I think that we're losing contact with each other. So the portrait of a future society where technology ruled completely seemed like it was something like looking in the mirror every morning and not actually speaking to my friends, but just sending them one words, texts. You know, so it felt to me like it was a cautionary tale about the future, but about the present as well.
I understand that embracing but fearing, because part of me kind of wanted to live in that village. Like, it was really nice that you created.
Well, it'd be good to have no pain, wouldn't it, in a sense? And, you know, every day I wake up at the moment, I keep thinking about Meryl Streep and that scene towards the end of the movie where she's arguing with Jeff's character and says every time human beings have a choice, they make the wrong choice. There's something right about that. And yet, would we ever want to give up freedom of choice? No, we wouldn't. So all of these questions are questions that ran through my mind when I first read the book, and that's what made me want to make it into a movie, because I think they're fundamental questions about, you know, what makes us human. That's what Lois has forced us to consider.
And Nikki, for you, I mean, you've been with this project, I think, also 18 years.
A very long time.
Since you were 10, apparently.
I appreciate that. Since the birth of my first son, I will tell you, who's here today. So,
What is it like to finally see it on the big screen? And, I mean, in a way, are you glad you waited? Because you wouldn't have had this cast otherwise.
well, am I glad I waited? I am thrilled about the film we have now, and you know, you can't make something happen before it's time. And evidently this was the time of The Giver. And I think what Jeff was saying too, it's every side of this film that we're proud of. From this incredible cast that we put together, to the cinematographer, to Philip, our captain, who just did such an unbelievable job. And to have the support of Lois, who has really been with us the entire way and helped us with the silliest of texts that Philip would send probably at midnight and then again at 6 a.m. the next morning. It's been a journey, but certainly one that's well worth it. And now we're really excited to give it to all of you.
And can I ask the actors, what attracted you to your roles? And was it intimidating at all working with legends like Jeff Bridges and Meryl Streep and Philip Noyce, for that matter?
Totally. It was your question's a little more intimidating, to be honest. But Jeff was great to work with. I had a dream of a time, and you know, when you get this gift, this opportunity, you kind of have to pinch yourself every morning before you go to work, and it was like that every day. So it was great. And to work with a fellow Aussie was pretty cool too.
We had our own special language.
They did. Nobody understood a word they were saying.
G'day, mate. Are they saying hello?
Basically one word,
Are they
mate.
saying hello? They're saying something profound that we should know.
If I was bad in a scene, he'd say, mate. If I was good, he'd say, mate. But only I understood what he was saying.
Katie, for you?
I was very excited to be a part of this film. The book is so beloved, and to work with, to be a part of this project with Jeff and Meryl Streep and all of these amazing actors was a pure delight, and to work with Philip was wonderful. And I think that, you know, it was interesting to play this character because this world is, you know, there's no emotion, there's no, you know, pain, and so for an actor, you know, you're always trying to emote, but you can't. So it was interesting, and to play someone who, you know, playing Brenton's mom and having him have these experiences that were so foreign to my character, and also being the guardian of the rules of this world was really interesting and quite a challenge. But mostly it was just an honor to be a part of, to be of something such what I think is a very valuable piece of work.
No, what everyone else has said, I think it's such an honor to work with these greats. And really, when you meet them, they're very relaxed and warm and make you feel really comfortable, because it can be really intimidating. And we had this kind of warm environment on set too. And working with Phil, you know, my character takes such a journey too, because I'm not completely like the giver in Jonas. I'm not fully feeling things, and I'm not getting memories. But still, I start off really naive and happy and thinking that I'm in a good place. And then once I stop taking my injections, it's just kind of like a state of confusion, and I don't really understand what I'm feeling. And he's trying to explain it to me. And then towards the end, it kind of goes to anger, because I realize the cruelty behind this community. So I think that arc was really interesting, and it's such a great story. So I'm really fortunate.